Yeah, well, they did face pushback in many jurisdictions, and obviously in the South. Louise Thompson Patterson, uh, who went down to Alabama to organize, was put in jail, and because it was, of course, illegal to have integrated meetings in the state. And even though she was African American, she was fairly light skinned, apparently. And she was lectured by a young police officer named Bull Connor. You shouldn't be down here stirring up the you know who. Um, but it wasn't only the South, right? I mean, uh, uh, it was de facto in the North, but there was a lot of pushback over in Clifton, New Jersey, some of the integrated meetings that the IWO held, where the police would, try to break it up. So the hurdles were many. Um, the advantages were that, people who are committed and recognized, right, to use the old phrase, an injury to one is an injury to all, found the organization attractive because they understood uh, the material benefits, certainly, of the organization. But yeah, they were there to fight anti Semitism, anti immigrant xenophobia, racism, and so people found allies. Today, we speak of intersectionality, but Louise Thompson, again, was writing about the triple oppression of Black people, Black women, right? In the 1930s, women workers and racial minorities. And it was pretty amazing that, immigrants or second generation Italians, Poles, Jewish Americans, right, recognized those alliances uh, and worked for all. And I think that has to be remembered today.
A simple but really cogent answer is that for Jews who came from the Palest settlement or Tsarist Russia, there was an analogy. They looked at lynchings as pogroms, and they looked at Jim Crow as analogous to a system that they had suffered under without citizenship in the Tsarist Empire. And when immigrants of any sort came to the US, they found a hierarchy, a racialized hierarchy, and found themselves willy-nilly making choices or being put into that hierarchy. And the result was that many decided purposely that they would fit into that hierarchy, being one above what was on the bottom, which is what I would call the African diaspora in the US, as well as some other groups, including indigenous groups. But some, like what we see in the IWO, have put two and two together in this equation, and it means a lot to them. The fact that their politics were pro-Soviet also encouraged them explicitly in this regard, because there were many debates within pro-Soviet orbits about the question of race and how do you organize, and the question of what does white and black unity mean. And that slogan is phrased in many different ways and promoted in different ways in different years within the CPUO. But these are people who took it to heart. And that's why they are picketing for the Scottsboro case, in which young men are arrested and have life-threatening sentences. And that is why they are busy picketing the Brooklyn Dodgers. And they're getting there before Jackie Robinson gets into the team. So their commitment is absolutely solid once they have figured out this formula of both no Jim Crow in the IWO, and immigrants one, immigrants all. To them, these were not contradictory.